Hello, folks. You're watching the Big Three Box Network, or like my old bumper used to go, you are watching the Big Three Box Network. Come on, you were watching the Big Three Box Network. But anyways, you're probably wondering, Bugsy, why did you sing your own bumper? Because I wanted to. I wanted to. Don't freaking get mad at me. I wanted to fucking do it. I miss it. I miss it because the YouTube editor was perfect for like just me putting in that quick intro. Now I gotta, now I have to like fight with Camtasia just to put it in. Yeah, but so that's why some of my videos now don't have a lot of intros or the little promos in the middle or beginning. You know what really like irks me about the whole thing though? Like they're replacing that feature with something else. I'm like, why don't you just give us the YouTube editor? Because yeah, a lot of people did use it, and for people who didn't have editing software, they did. But anyways, back to the real point of this video. Guys, I want to kind of do a video talking about balancing your characters. Because I did say the whole character thing is kind of like, when you're little, when, when you're like a teenager and you really don't know how to balance your character. Okay, now let's talk about the elephant in the room, Bugsy John Kuro. My character, which is kind of like my video avatar in a way. Now, you may say, oh, well, Bugsy, he's overpowered. Yes, my dear viewer, he is overpowered. But here's the thing. He suffers from a lot, a lot of mental trauma. For being a guy who constantly, when killed, comes back, it has a little bit of an effect on him. I don't really get into it, but in certain videos where I cut it out because it was too long, you know, well, Bugsy John Curl, he does lament about his mortality because he's not really invincible. He can still die. It's just a lot harder to kill him. But the fact that if you hurt the people near and dear to him, like you saw in the villain shows his true face, he buckles under the pressure. Your power, you know, being being having all your powers means diddly squat if the people you love are in danger because emotions make you act you know emotions to dangerous situations can make you act a little irrational or make you freeze depending on what the trauma is. Case in point, if he's physically strong, make him a little mentally weak to offset his power. Now, let us talk about actual overpowered characters in general. I say, as a rule of thumb, don't try to make your character overpowered from the very beginning. See, Bugsy John Kuro is like the summation of all the stories I used to write, coalesced in one character. There's actually some continuity with those old stories I used to write. So you're probably wondering to yourself, well, Bugsy, my character is not overpowered. He's got the power of heaven and hell, and he uses chaos control and all that stuff. Okay, okay. Limit your character's power. I'm telling this to you right now. Limit your character's power. Don't have him have the full gambit of powers. Start him off slow. Okay, with Bugsy the Hedgehog, he's not really powerful. He's very astute when it comes to his chaos Bugsy the Hedgehog's very astute when it comes to his chaos energy, but he's not really the best. I'd say out of Sonic, he's like the better of the two because he has more of a firm grasp on his powers. But there are still things that kind of confound him, like why they have it and stuff like that. The like Bugsy the Hedgehog's main draw is the fact that he has a tendency to overthink things. He can when he thinks of a plan, he kind of doesn't think of the little details that he may need. So he may rush with a plan, but he may not have an exit strategy per se because he's still thinking about how to take down Eggman. And because he wants to take down Eggman, sometimes it conflicts with what he's actually trying to do. I wouldn't say my character is selfish. He just has moments where destroying Eggman is like the primary goal. But that doesn't mean he doesn't care. It's just in the heat of the moment he's like that. Okay, let's talk about Mary Sue's. Mary Sue fan characters are the worst because they always have the dude characters drooling all over them. They don't real they can basically win a main character's love without doing the littlest of things. I'd say the biggest rub of that is, I would say, Akai Dalia's character, Akai Dalia's character, which just had Sonic and Shadow, wanting to bang her. Which again, with Shadow, it's you. If you want to have Shadow to have a relationship, you have to build it. You have to build it up. You have to have Shadow want to fall in love with your character. You got to make situations, scenarios, stuff like that. See, now Bugsy the like I'm using my characters as like references here, but I'd say Bugsy the Hedgehog's a little bit better than Bugsy John Kuro because you know he's you know he doesn't have a lot of power, so I'm using him as a freaking reference. Now he's adept at speed and his other chaos powers, but everything else is kind of you know he's awkward when it comes to when it comes to like romance or well basically romance or just kind of hanging out with people because he's usually well sometimes hanging out with people because he's usually focused on his singular goal of taking down Eggman, so it's like he can have fun, but fun can take a back seat when you're trying to destroy Dr. Ivo Robotnik. Sonic's always there to kind of loosen him up a little bit because, he has, because he kind of has to. And later on in like the seasons, you know, Bugsy the Hedgehog's the one kind of boosting everybody's morale when they're all feeling, down because the casualties of war are really weighing heavy on everybody. He's smart. Again, he's smart, but he's not super smart. You know, he doesn't know everything. He doesn't claim that he knows everything, but he knows enough to help out. He attributes to the story. And in later parts of Sonic Freedom Fighters, he causes friction between Sonic. Although in the original thing before I changed some of the original parts of the story before I finished writing it, he was gonna talk to Sonic about him dating Fiona because when by the time I wrote the old version of that, he was with Sally. So the fight between Sonic and Tails, that kind of happens, but not to the point because Tails still kind of doesn't like Sonic. But then, Bugsy the Hedgehog steps in, and Sonic and Bugsy the Hedgehog have this fight. He's like, Sonic, how could you be so stupid? And Sonic goes, me being stupid? You basically betrayed me. How did I betray you? You're with, you're with Sally. That's how you betrayed me. But you betrayed Tails. He would have gotten over Fiona. Yeah, if you putting your tongue down his throat, it sounds just gonna forgive you because you're his bro. No, he's gonna feel hurt and betrayed. Oh, I feel that right. I feel that right now. Sonic, this ain't about me. This ain't about me and Sally. It's about your problem. You, you did this. You could have understood Tails' plight. We didn't have family members until we stopped the war with Robotnik. But you had to push on Tails' button. You had to freak, you had to freaking make, you had to freaking make tensions between the people and between Tails worse. And I suppose, what are you planning? What are you planning to do? Make sure we do this peacefully without any bloodshed. We don't have a lot of blood on our hands, but the stuff we do is stuff we can't live with, Sonic, and you know it. And then they keep talking for a while, and they actually fight. And through this fight, they get out all their emotions. Because Sonic, he's like, because let me give you a little story recap. When Sonic went out and everybody thought he died, Bugsy Hedgehog thought he was, Bugsy knew he was the only one that really knew that Sonic was still alive because he noticed that there were no bits of hedgehog flesh or bit of his quills, so he's still alive. He got teleported somewhere, but he was never able to prove it. And until Sonic came back, he became the second hero. He became the legit hero, Mobius. Something he never really truly asked for, but he knew he had to do it because Sonic isn't around, and he's one of the other only people that can match Robotnik when it comes to like wit and strength, other than Sonic and a few other characters. So he's, well, you're the hero Mobius now. You're the hero Mobius now, and I'm just a washout. It goes like, Sonic, I never asked for this. I never asked to have your title. You were blasted to the other side of space. I had to take over. No one else could do what we do. You think this was easy? You think this was easy for me? No, because I'm always gonna be the second hero to you. And I know that. And yes, I'm a hero in my own right, but being compared to you was difficult. And yeah, when I was with Sally, I comforted her. And it went to something a little bit more. And I'm sorry for that. But I couldn't just leave her grief stricken. And you know, you know I like Sally too. You knew. And I'm not trying to say this forgives everything. But Sonic, you you gotta think. You never think things through. And I'm always the one picking up the pieces. Do you ever for once think about anybody else's feelings but your own? For once in your life, Sonic. Think about Tails. Think about me. This was very stressful for me too. And here we are, slugging it out like a bunch, like we're a bunch of fucking boxers. Sonic, we have an obligation to the people to be better than this. The council the they want to start this council, and they want they and the people rely on us because we're a beacon, and we can't let our petty squabbles control what we do. Now let's go. Now let's go stop. Let's go stop Sally's brother from killing Tails' father. Okay? I know we have a lot of things to work out, and I don't expect us to get through it all in one day. But what I do expect is for us to at least, for the time being, be the heroes we are. That's all I'm. That's all I'm wanting. That's all I'm expecting us to do. At just as just as two hedgehogs, man. So what do you say? Once this stuff is settled, me and you, just us, we talk. All right? Because Sonic, I don't want to be mad at you. I know we have this little. I know we had this little rivalry where we basically kept going at each other, but was it was innocent and fun, and we would one up each other. What happened to that? What happened to that? What happened to that drive you had? Because we make ourselves better. You bring out the best in me like I bring out the best in you. So come on. So come on. Show me how fast you've got. Let's save the kingdom and and show me how fast you've gotten. Like, okay, but you know, so it's pretty much them like getting out most of their emotions because that's the only way they could. Well, the basic stuff. I didn't say when they were fighting, they basically kept trying to talk to each other, and because of that, they kept fighting. Stupid, I know, but that's how it would kind of be. The fight with Tails kind of happened, but Tails still kind of, instead of Tails like forgiving Sonic right away, it just it didn't really happen gradually until like it wouldn't really happen gradually, because I would say in a later episode that I was actually working on during the draft, they actually Sonic and Tails do talk, and it kind of ends like how it did in the original House of Cards arc. I think that's what it was called. You know, and but but what I'm trying to tell you is show your character's vulnerability emotionally. Characters have to have flaws for people to like them, for people to latch onto them. You can't make them into this fantasy. You can't make them into your ultimate fantasy. You can put elements within yourself. You can put elements of this character. You can put elements of yourself in this character, sure, but you can't do too much. You can't make them too powerful. You can't You can't make him the person who knows the answer and knows how to save everybody. You have to have a balance. And when your character fights, don't make them too weak. You gotta get in the middle. Now the thing about my tie-in story is that it's like at the tail end of the Sonic Freedom Fighters timeline. So Bugsy the Hedgehog has had a lot of adventures. He doesn't really fight Infinite he doesn't really beat Infinite half the time. Usually it's like a draw, and that's what you're going to see in Cry of Freedom pretty soon because I'm almost done with the first chapter. But he does get his ass whooped by basically Infinite. Like there's a moment where Bugsy thinks he has the upper hand, but really, Infinite is just toying with him. But yeah, show your character's vulnerability, and folks, try to make. I would say try to make his story, try to make their backstories compelling. I mean, try to be original. Don't try to copy Shadows. Don't try to copy Sonic's. Don't try to copy Tails. Don't try to copy Tails's. Make something original for their backstories. You can have you can have them sort of be in the events of certain events in the franchise, but don't have them be in it. Like have them kind of in the background. They were in the background. They were watching Sonic's heroism. They were watching Shadow. They heard about Shadow and Space Colony Arc. They saw freaking they were one of the faces among the crowds that saw Eggman use the Eclipse cannon, stuff like that. But you can't have them be a part of main events. They were never there. And peeps, I know you love, and if you love your fan characters, that's fine. But don't, but don't love them so much that you can't have anything bad happen to them. Let's look at Bugsy the Hedgehog one more time. He's a character that basically lost his father to roboticization. He feels guilty for the fact that he made the roboticizer with his father. Like he carries that guilt wherever he goes. And he basically uses jokes as a coping mechanism. Which is not too far off. Which is kind of not too far off from yours truly sometimes. Little elements, guys, you gotta put in there. They have to have something that they're struggling for, something that they're struggling with, something that they strive to be. Saitama's overpowered, but he wants to have the ultimate challenge. Something he can't get because he's super OP as fuck. You have to give the character something he's going for, something he wants, something he or she wants to accomplish. And you have to not make it so easy. You have to not make it so fucking easy for these characters to get it. You have to have struggle. You have to have conflict. And when conflict comes, you get resolution. I know. It's like, why the fuck are you talking like if I see fucking Mad Tuesday, why the fuck are you talking about characters? Watch the damn video. You watch the damn video. Okay? Do that. But for the rest of you, I hope this helps. I know I talked a little bit more about my stuff, but I just wanted to give you guys kind of an example of some things you could technically work on, you could technically use, you could technically work on. You can make these fan characters. You gotta make these fan characters truly original and truly something special. Don't try to rip don't try to rip it off from Sonic or anything. You gotta make them your own. You got it? And don't make their powers too don't make their powers too predictable. Okay, one thing is my Bugsy the Hedgehog's power comes from the Chaos Emeralds and the Chaos Force. See, but the Chaos Force is an actual thing that Knuckles has. But later on, and Bugsy has always had the Chaos Force, but he's never fully tapped into it. All he can do is really chaos darts and making himself go a little faster. The ancients, I would say in season like 1 or 2, I mean season 2 or 3, are the ones that actually train him to be a little bit more stronger. Strong enough to take down most, strong enough to take down some enemies. And a little secret. Even though they actually fight Eggman and win, they win the war, they stop everything, Bugsy the Hedgehog is still kind of forever changed from that event. Like, like war does things to your mind. Why did you, when I did that prelude to Cry of Freedom, why do you really think he went in the portal? He went in the portal because he feels like there's something he can still do. He's like, everybody's at peace, but there's still some stuff that I can do, you know? Kind of deluding himself like there's actually something he can still do. Luckily for him, when the Phantom Ruby opened the portal, that's when he went through. But yeah, he still feels like there's still evil to fight when even in his own universe, the evil is all but gone. Sort of, but I'll get into that when we get into that. But still, yeah. But anyways, character and also character relations, folks. Write that down. Character relations. Sonic and Bugsy the Hedgehog have a character. They have a relationship as cousins, but they're more like brothers with how close they are. But, like Sonic and Bugsy the Hedgehog are kind of like, in a sense, they're kind of like, they kind of like, they kind of act like little bit like twin siblings in a sense, in like some regard. They kind of act like twin siblings in some regard. They're always kind of competitive with each other. Sometimes they'll know what the other is thinking because not because they have telepathy or anything, because they've been around each other for so long. Like say Sonic's like I need and Buzzy Hedgehog's like say no more, man. I know what you're thinking. I know your body. I got I got this chili dog for you. You know, and even Sonic would know um all of Bugsy the Hedgehog's catchphrases and what he'd say before that, and even stops him from saying one of his catchphrases in a later episode. See, with Amy, with Bugsy Hedgehog and Amy, they have like a student apprentice kind of relationship, and then Amy kind of finds that you know, Amy kind of finds with a lot of build up that she may have true actual feelings for Bugsy. And this Amy is not the Amy we all know from the games. This Amy this Amy has her own like backstory, her own problems and her own stuff, but she always says that she felt rather comfortable, more comfortable around like the freedom fighters, but a little bit more comfortable around Bugsy the Hedgehog, and she can never explain what it was. But she knows that she sticks around them, and and I hate using this trope, but I think it's gonna be kind of funny. Like Bugsy the Hedgehog, since he's always so busy with the next plan, the next plan of action, the next thing he has to do, he's blissfully unaware. He is literally blissfully unaware about the whole thing. He doesn't know if Amy likes him. He's kind of so little shaken up by the fact that that Sonic and Sally are together, but he still kind of shrugs it off like he doesn't care when he actually does. And you know, and he's like, I must focus on my work. I must focus on what I do best, so I don't have to get tangled up in romance. So he does what he does. And I kind of hinted at it with the prelude to freedom. I didn't really say it, but Amy, Amy kind of gives off the vibe that she does love Bugsy Hedgehog. Remember, this happens at the end of the timeline. The time story happens at the end of the timeline, basically. Well, actually, it's not tying anymore. I mean, freaking Forces is already out. It's more of an adaptation. But he basically, she basically feels the same way for it. She basically feels for him, and he's kind of aware of it now. But he just, when he saw the portal, and he was gonna leave with Amy anyway, he was actually, he was actually going to really, they were actually gonna really bond a little bit more, like they were gonna bond in this one episode where they're actually infiltrating Eggman's base. Well, Robotnik's base is one of his many egg egg army generals. Yeah, yeah, that happens, and they really started to kind of bond. So, and yeah, so Bugsy the Hedgehog was really gonna take Amy along just to see how he really feels about her. Then when he saw that portal, he just went in because he knew that he had to go somewhere. He didn't know why or how. He just jumped in the portal. But the thing about Amy and Bugsy the Hedgehog's relationship is that there was buildup. There was buildup. There was tension. There's even a little bit of chemistry in there. And if you don't have any of those things, it just doesn't seem believable. Now I know I'm just an amateur writer, but I'm just saying, use the tips that I am telling you, and you should be able to at least craft a good character. Plenty of flaws, plenty of strengths, plenty of weaknesses, and plenty of just good all around humor if you're going for that. I'm Bugsy, and this has been my little character workshop. I think this is gonna be I think I'm gonna make it on an episode basis whenever I feel like talking about more things, or maybe like I should make this like Bugsy's hand, Bugsy's guide of things you need to know when making your own fan story. But I've covered all the bases. Tell me, you know, eh. Even though I think this is going to be kind of eh. Tell me, down in the comments below, what is your character? What is his strengths and weaknesses? What are his likes? What are his dislikes? What, if he's a fan character, what character is he close to? And you gotta explain it and how it makes sense and all this other stuff. Tell me that. Tell me down in the comments below. That's kind of your homework for the week. It's optional though. You don't have to talk about your character if you don't want to. If you still do it. Now, I'm Bugsy, and I'll say it. And where? And I, well, actually, I'm speeding out of here. See you later, and keep it chaotic, folks. Keep it chaotic.